fifth grade, welcome back to Grammar. This video is for May 1st. It's a new month. Wow, we've made it into May. So today we're going to continue with our review of chapter 13 as we're getting ready for the test coming up on May 4th, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Last time we looked at adjectives and adverbs, so this time I want us to do a little bit more work with diagramming. But before we get into that, I wanted to share a verse with you from Deuteronomy chapter 4, it's verse 7. And in this chapter, Moses is talking to the Israelites and reminding them about everything that God has done for them and how he brought them out of Egypt and they were getting ready to go into the promised land. So in verse 7, Moses reminded the Israelites, "For what great nation is there that has a God so near to it as the Lord our God is to us, whenever we call upon him?" So that just is a reminder to us that as God was close to the nation of Israel back in those days, he is close to us today. All we have to do is reach out in prayer and talk to him, give him the concerns that we have. Remember to thank him for all of his blessings, and just remember that he is always there by us. He is always close wherever we are. It doesn't matter where we go, he is always there with us. So I hope that's an encouragement to you today. Let's take a look at these two sentences that I have on the board. The first sentence says, "Hurricanes are tropical." So what is the subject of this sentence? Who or what is this sentence about? It's about hurricanes, right? Good. So we're going to mark that with an S. And what is the verb? Hurricanes what? Right, hurricanes are. What type of verb is that? Is that action or is that linking? Yes, it's a linking verb. Okay, so if we have a linking verb, then we need to look for a predicate noun or a predicate adjective. Hurricanes are what? Hurricanes are tropical. We only have one more word, so it doesn't make it too hard to figure out. And tropical is describing the hurricanes, so it's a predicate adjective. So we can go ahead and diagram that now. The word hurricanes, the subject goes on the left. And then are is the linking verb. It goes on the right of that vertical line. And then the predicate adjective tropical goes behind the slanted line. Hurricanes are tropical. That one was pretty easy, only 3 words. Okay, next one's a little more complicated. Let's take a look. Number 2, a family escaped the devastating hurricane yesterday. Okay, so let's find the subject first. Who or what is the sentence about? It's about a family, right? Okay, we're going to label that S. What did the family do? Right, the family escaped. So that's the verb. Since it's an action verb, we need to look for a direct object. Family escaped what? Family escaped hurricane. Right, that's the direct object. Okay, now we can look for adjectives or adverbs. So when we look, we see the subject family, that's a noun. Anything describing family? Right, a family. A describes family. Okay, then we look at hurricane. Anything describing hurricane? Okay, right. It's the hurricane. I'm going to have to draw a really long arrow if I draw it, so I'm just going to write adjective there. And it's a devastating hurricane. Okay. And then we have one word left, yesterday. What do you think that word might be? Yeah. It's an adverb, and it goes all the way back to the verb. It tells when, yesterday. All right, so we can fill this in. The subject is family. The verb is escaped. And the direct object is hurricane. And then we can plug in the adjectives and adverbs. A family, and escaped yesterday. And then the and devastating describe hurricane. The hurricane, devastating hurricane. Okay, we're going to check the workbook pages that you did last time, and I'm going to explain the directions for the worksheet that you're going to do today. But before I do, I want to remind you of some grammar assignments that you need to check and make sure that you've completed in Google Classroom. First of all, there's the Chapter 11 test that we had. That was one of the first assignments that you did. And then there was an adjective and adverb quiz. You need to check and make sure that you've already completed both of those. And then on May 4th, you'll be getting the Chapter 13 test that will cover the material that we've been learning about in Chapter 13. So please make sure that you have all of those assignments completed before May 5th. We have the next grade report coming out, the next progress report coming out on May 6th. And so we need to have all of those assignments completed so that we can get those grades averaged in with all of your other grades. So thanks for working so hard and doing a great job. Okay, let's take a look at page 247 that you finished up last time on your own. In the first part, letter A, you needed to do number 3. These was an adjective describing instruments. This and whether were adjectives describing condition. On part B, number 6, home and safely are adverbs describing brought. God brought Uncle Marvin and his family home safely. Where? Home. How? Safely. And then on part C, you had to do number 9. Parachute is the subject, is the linking verb, and helpful is the predicate adjective. Parachute goes on the left, is goes on the right of the vertical line, and helpful goes behind the slanted line because it's predicate adjective. And then A and small describe parachute. And then on page 248, you needed to do numbers 12 and 13 in part D. So safer, you should have dropped the E before you added ER, and safest, drop the E before adding EST. Flatter, you should have doubled the last T before adding ER, and doubled the T before adding EST. So on those kinds of words, when you're adding endings, you must follow the spelling rules. They need to be spelled correctly. Okay, on the next section, part E, you had to underline the correct adjective or adverb. Number 16, best, 17, worse, 18, good, 19, badly, and 20, well. And then 24 and 25 on part F, you had to circle the conjunction and then underline what was being connected and then tell what the words were. So in number 24, buildings and trees were being joined by the word and that's 2 subjects. They're both the subjects of the sentence. Buildings, block, trees, block. And then number 25, land and sea are being connected, and they are adjectives because the sentence is about observations, and land and sea tell us what kind of observations. Land observations, sea observations. So it's 2 adjectives. All right, let's take a look at the review worksheet that you're going to do. This is going to give you more opportunity to practice before the test. On part A, you need to underline all the adjectives, including articles, demonstratives, and proper adjectives, and then draw an arrow to the noun that each adjective describes. So go through, read the sentence carefully, find the nouns, you can label them N, and then look for words that are answering the adjective questions. Which one, what kind, the words that are describing those nouns. And then part B, underline the adverbs in the sentence, draw an arrow to the word each adverb describes. So it might be helpful to go through and find the verbs in the sentence and mark those. Look to see if there are any adverbs describing the verbs, but then you also need to look to see if there are any adverbs describing other adverbs or adjectives. Remember, ly is a clue. If it ends in ly, most likely it's an adverb. Not always, but it's a good clue for you. And then part C, you need to label the sentence pattern. SV for subject verb, SVDO for subject verb direct object, and then SLVPA for subject linking verb predicate adjective. And then diagram the main words and the adjectives and adverbs. And then the next part D, you need to write the ER and EST forms of the adjectives, so make sure that you follow the spelling rules. And then E, underline the correct adjective or adverb. And then F, circle the conjunction in each sentence, and then underline the words that are joined by the conjunction, and then write in the blank what's being connected. 2 sentences, 2 subjects, 2 predicates, 2 adjectives, 2 direct objects, 2 adjectives, again, that was a mistake on their part, or a series of words, okay? So I'm thinking that that second 2 adjectives was supposed to be 2 adverbs. All right, thank you for watching the video and working so hard. You're doing a great job.